Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, you know, summer kind of started out bad. You know, it was raining every day, and I thought, hey, you know, where's the summer?
Hi, my name is Adele Helen Terezis, and we're making a documentary about my brother. His name was Chris Terezis, and he was born in the Bronx. So when he was 16, my family had a lot of problems. My other brother was very ill all the time. It affected our whole family because when one child is sick in a family with mental emotional problems, it actually affects the whole family. And so my mother and father divorced, and my brother was very, very sad about their relationship, which made him leave our house when he was a very young man, around 16 years old. And he went to live in the village, in Greenwich Village in Manhattan. And he became a musician there. He learned how to play the guitar and sing, and he always loved music.
I sing my songs for everyone. I've been on stage in every club. Another life must be so strong. Maybe I'll call you up. I'm just hanging around, feeling lazy. I'm just hanging around.
And my brother inherited that. We all inherited that singing. We all inherited acting. We all inherited music. We loved music. So he received that wandering spirit, I think, because he never found the place where he was really loved. He never found the person that he was in love with that would work out for him. So you heard that in his music. You heard the traveling in his music, and you heard the nostalgia in his music. But he wanted to be a successful musician, and because of the way he was raised and the lack of support and the lack of contacts, he never quite made it.
Walk alone on desert sand. I don't know where is my land. Slow burning wind is in the air. Shoes full of sand. Give me the right flag.
So he would go around playing music. And the interesting thing of this was I was living in Louisiana, and there are street musicians that played for money. And I found out that Chris Terezis did the same exact thing. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He had no money, he had no income to speak of, no education. He just had his music and his dreams. So he traveled over to Amsterdam and started playing music in clubs and on the street and making money. There was an old show about 1986 called Fraggle Rock. And what they were little puppets that lived underground in a house. And they had an Uncle Matt that would just travel around the world. He had no money, no fame to speak of, and he just wanted to explore and to do what he wanted to do. So I always thought of, when I thought of Uncle Chris, I thought of Matt, Uncle Matt from Fraggle Rock, because he would always travel, he would always do what he wants to do, and he would write letters, and he would write letters to Dora, and he would write letters to Helen.
I always used to joke and say to him, you're Christopher Columbus, and call him Chris Columbus, because he never could really settle in one place. As soon as he went to, let's say, England, and then he wanted to go to France, and then when he went to France, he went to Amsterdam, and then he went to Germany, and then he went to Italy, and then he went to Greece, and every time he was in a place, he wanted to go to the next place. But the whole time he was traveling, he would write me. He would either write me through mail, these long letters, and tell me how he loved it where he was, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to stay there because he wanted to go to the next place.
My Uncle Chris, he had two sides to him. He had a wild musician who was a hippie and was very free-spirited, but then he also had a very professional side to him. He just loved to travel. He was a free spirit who wanted to be traveling, and he loved being in Europe and he loved being in America, but he was tossed between both places. He liked to live here and be among his family, because we all were here, but then he also had a group of friends that he considered his family, and he wanted to be in Europe and live among them. So when he was there, he wrote here saying he wished he was here. And then when he was here, he would be writing saying he wished he was back there. Wherever he went, he sent me a postcard, and it would tell me a little bit about where he was, what he was doing. And he would always say, write me back, write me. And he always wanted us to write him back because he wanted to have that communication. Even though he wasn't here, he wanted us to know he was around and his presence was felt. But he always wanted to be somewhere else. He always said to me, like, you know, I'm here, but I don't really feel like I belong here. There was a, I don't know, Beatles song that I remember, somewhere about a nowhere man living in his nowhere land. And I think that song really kind of fit my uncle.
I must complete my bust. 2 novels, finish my blueprints, begin my begee.
Hey, Jeremy, must you always talk in rhyme?
If I spoke prose, you'd all find out I don't know what I talk about.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land.
I think that he wanted his own place, but he didn't want to stay put because he wanted to do music. And he also felt more at home at Europe because he had friends there, and it was more of a social life than in America. Because in America, people are more in their own homes, in their own spaces, and in Europe, they're more outgoing and they're more open to one another's spaces. And he liked to be around people, all kinds of people, all different kinds of people. He felt comfortable when he was around people. He didn't like people arguing because of his past. He didn't like troubles. He didn't like struggles. He didn't like people being depressed or feeling stuck. He repelled those things. And so he wanted to be free. He was a free spirit. You know, he liked to be around people when they had good times and he could just do his thing and fit in. And when it came to be like a box situation, he wanted to leave again. So that was his lifestyle. He was what people sing about and what people portray in movies and the way he lived.
A complete life to me was Chris's life, you know. You were happy. He was happy what he was doing. He did what he wanted to do. He took all the risks. He took all the chances that he wanted to take, and he did it.
I think for the most part, he was the kind of person who did what he wanted, and he was happy most of the time in his life. And he didn't, I don't think he had too many regrets, you know.
Way up on a hill in Lyon, looking at the city below. The wind blew cold against my face and tossed my hair around. I came here to see a friend who lives near Saint Etienne. Drove up to Canada together, back in the USA, and listened to the Eurythmics singing, "It's a brand new day," over and over, way back in the USA. New York behind me now, just like some forgotten dream. Look back at the Manhattan skyline from a bus going to Queens. The Slaves of New York was a film I had just seen, and I thought about leaving this crazy scene. But the Jackson Hole burgers, they still taste good, and the words of the music say it like they should. Over and over, miles and miles away, way back here now, it's a brand new day, a brand new day, hey, 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 a brand new day, a brand new day.